Hi, I'm Andrew, and welcome to episode 5 of the Neon Knitter podcast. So, I don't have any finished objects for you guys this month, um, but I do have a couple new cast ons and I have some acquisitions. So, we're going to start by talking about the elephant in the room, what I'm wearing. This is not a recent FO, as I already mentioned, I don't have any finished objects. This is a sweater that I knit a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I think. Anyways, this is Southwood by Galt House of Yarn. And I used Loops and Threads Flex in the colorway light gray. And Loops and Threads is the Michaels brand of yarn, in case you didn't know. Anyways, so yeah. Anyways, this was the first sweater I ever made. And so I think it turned out pretty good for my first sweater. Fits me really well. In fact, it's one of the sweaters that I've made that actually fits me the best, actually. So, yeah. So I just thought I'd tell you about what I'm wearing, because I think I wore it once during Vloguary and I forgot to talk about what it was. So, yeah. So that's Southwood by Galt House of Yarn. Loops and Threads Flex in the colorway light gray. I think I got into a third skein, I think, because they're really huge, like 500 yard skeins or 400 yard skeins or whatever of worsted weight. So, yeah, anyways, so let's get into whips. So I'm gonna show, I think, about 4 whips I'm gonna show. So my first whip I'm gonna show, I know I'm in the middle of a row. I haven't made any progress since you saw it last, but this is my Aurora Cabin shawl. I'm still at the same exact spot I was on the final episode of Vloguary. I haven't made any progress. I know I said I might finish the row, and I am still debating it, but yeah, I don't need to have this done until November, and my deadline is November because the fiber fair in which I bought this yarn at last year, the fall fiber fair in Hopkins, Minnesota, it's always the first Saturday in November at the Eisenhower Community Center in Hopkins, Minnesota. Fall fiber fair, yeah, that's where I got this yarn. Anyways, go watch my episode from November if you want to see that acquisition, or my Vloguary intro, I think I talked about as well. But yeah, I'd like to wear it to that, but that isn't until November, and so I have a few other projects I would like to get done before I continue working on this, just because this is becoming kind of a slog. I didn't find section 6 to be kind of a slog, but I know I'm going to find section 7 to be kind of a slog, because I did find the other 2 slip stitch sections to be a little sluggish. So it's just like, I gotta do it again, this time with more stitches, because I'm up to like 700 stitches now. So yeah, so that is my Aurora Cabin shawl. Go watch my Vloguary intro if you want to know about my yarns, because I'm not going to go into that for a third or fourth time. So yeah, so that's where I'm at on that. Okay, now I'm going to move into my next whip. This is actually a new cast on, and okay, I'm actually kind of going to show you 2 whips at the same time, and I'll explain why first. Basically, this is a new cast on that I have put on hibernation. Well, okay, I haven't exactly put it on hibernation, but I seemingly haven't been working on it. But it's a new cast on since I last did an episode. And I think I already told you guys I was going to put my exploration station on hibernation. Um, Told you that during Vloguary because the only reason I cast it on was because of my needle issues with Aurora Cabin. Anyways, both this and my Aurora Cabin shawl are both on the same pair of needles right now on a holder, waiting to be worked on. So I'll put them back on the needle they're supposed to be on later. But anyways, this is the Zebra Pullover by Arnie and Carlos. You will have seen this acquisition, I believe, in my December episode, but anyways, I am using Rowan Kid Classic. That's the yarn that's called for in the pattern, and I'm using the suggested colors. This white is called Feather, and the charcoal is called Smoke. The labels don't say the names of the colors. I just happen to remember from looking online and also on the pattern. It says. Yeah, and so I'm making the smaller of the two sizes. And I am just on the back side here. And I think I got gauge on the suggested needles, if I'm remembering correctly. This isn't the needle I'm knitting it on. This is a bigger needle that I stuck onto this cord. I have an interchangeable needle set. This was just so that my stitches hopefully wouldn't, pop off, because it's a bigger needle than the size I'm knitting it with. But yeah, I'm just on the back side here, and it just happens to be on the same needle as my exploration station, just on the same holder. It's actually two broken needles that I tied together. So, because I initially was going to actually knit this on these needles, and then I put it onto a different needle because I wanted to bring it somewhere and work on it. And then I stuck my exploration station on here. I never untied these needles. Then I needed that cord for a new cast on that I'm about to show you. And so I stuck this on here as well. So that's kind of where it's living at the moment. I will put this on a different cord when I'm ready to work on it again. But until then, here it sits. And yeah. So I've got the printout of the chart in my project bag. I'm not going to show it to you because obviously that'd be giving you the pattern, but yeah. So it's the beginnings of my zebra pullover. And that is so it's a zebra pullover by Arnie and Carlos. It's from the fall 2019 issue of Vogue Knitting. So yeah. But I bought the pattern individually. So yeah. Okay, my fourth and final whip is also a new cast on. I cast this on February 28th, which was the final day of Vloguary, so I didn't make any Aurora Cabin progress that day. That was all progress from up until February 27th, because February 28th, new cast on. This is the whip I am most actively working on. In fact, I've monogamously worked on this, and I've been working on this for almost 2 weeks now, and I haven't picked up any other whips to work on since I've cast this on. I'm obsessed with it. This is the Painting Honeycomb Sweater by Stephen West. Yeah, the Painting Honeycomb Sweater by Stephen West. It's, I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. I cast this on February 28th, and, Tuesday will officially be 2 weeks since I cast this on. It is Saturday right now, and this coming Tuesday will be 2 weeks since I cast this on. So I don't remember the date off the top of my head right now, so otherwise I would have just said it, but yeah, so so anyways, this is yarn that I bought, I don't remember, it was a little over a year ago. I got this all at Stephen B, except for the orange, which I got from Wool and Company. Anyways, so let me go over the yarns that I am using. I'll start with my color pops and then I will get into my main color. Hang on, just let me dig my color pops out of my bag here so I can show you. If I'd have been smart, I'd have dug them out before I started the camera, but, well, we're only 10 minutes in, so. Alright. Oh, there it is, I found it. Okay. So, you need 5 color pops in order to do this, and this is a DK weight pattern. And I'm knitting size large. But this is, you need 5 color pops, or if you look at all the pictures on Ravelry, the sample that Malia is wearing, she has 3 color pops, but it goes light, medium, dark, medium, light. I think she had, 3 different shades of gray in hers, but anyways, I'm basing mine more off the sample that Steven's wearing, so I have 5 color pops. Anyways, I tried to go in order of the rainbow for mine. So here is my color pops. I don't know what I did with the labels, so anyways, this is the pink. This is Madeline Tosh DK in the color Fluoro Rose. And then we've got the orange. This is Madeline Tosh DK in the color Push Pop. Then we've got the yellow. This is Nana Cindy New Zealand Sumptuous in the colorway Mish Yellow Bama. I think that name's absolutely brilliant. I think that pun is amazing. Like Mish Yellow Bama, I mean, come on. Also, in case you guys are wondering, Nana Cindy is currently on hiatus from dyeing yarn. So, yeah, I happened to get this skein on clearance at Stephen B. So, yeah. Then the green is Clarin Drad Merino DK in the colorway ELO, which I believe is named after Electronic Light Orchestra, I think. But anyways, yeah. Then the blue is Madeline Tosh DK in the colorway Jet Pilot. And Jet Pilot is a Stephen B custom color. So Stephen B is the only place you can get this color, and I believe it's currently out of stock, but I might be wrong. So those are the 5 color pops. And then if you look at the sample Stephen is wearing, so the sample Malia is wearing doesn't have this, but the sample Stephen is wearing, he, and I'll get into my main color in a second here, but you can see on the sleeve cuffs that he decided to put color pops. Anyways, so he did the 2nd and 3rd color pops on his sleeves, and so that would be for me the orange and the yellow. However, I'm going to do the orange and the green, and not the orange and the yellow. Not that I don't think it wouldn't look good, but the pink, the orange, the green, and the blue are all 100% merino wool, and the yellow, being a different base, has a little bit of alpaca in it. And so I feel like that'd be a different texture on one of the sleeve cuffs, and so I feel like that'd be kind of a weird, like, sensory thing for me, that one sleeve feels different from the other or whatever. So I'm going to do orange and green as my sleeve cuff color pops. So, yeah, that's for the sleeve cuff color pops, the orange and the green, because these are both the same fiber content, and I feel like they're going to feel the same on both sides. Anyways, let's get into my main color. So this is by Skeins, made in New Zealand by Skeins. You can see that right there. That's the company, Skeinz. So this is Skeins Black Pearl, and the color is called Pirate's Cove. And it has 123 yards. Well, it's 113 meters, but I converted it to yards. 123 yards. And it is merino, alpaca, and silk. All it says is it's merino, alpaca, and silk. It doesn't say the percentages. I wish it said the percentages, but it doesn't. And the color is called Pirate's Cove. And I got 13 skeins of this. And I don't know how many skeins I've already gone through, but I started with 13 skeins. So yeah. So I'm really obsessed with this sweater. And yeah, next time I film an episode, this should be an FO. And if everything goes well, hopefully I'll have my bubble sweater done next time too, but I haven't made any progress on that, so that's why I'm not showing it. So I'll have to try to decide which one I'm going to wear on the episode. Unless I only get one of them done, then obviously I'll just wear that. But yeah, I've been tempted to get my bubble sweater out and work on it, but I would have to switch my needle tips from this one to that one, so I will try to finish this first, and then I'll pick my bubble sweater up and work on it. So then after that, I'm going to try to get twists and turns done, which I also haven't made any progress on. Then after I get twists and turns done, then we'll see what I decide to work on after that. Okay, next we're going to move into acquisitions. Well, kind of. Before I move into acquisitions, I'm just going to show one thing real quick. So back in December, I don't know if it's my December episode or my January episode, because I got this acquisition kind of towards the end of December. Clarendrad Merino DK in the colorway Lemonade. You guys might recall that I got 6 skeins of it at Stephen B. You might recall I was at the Stephen B holiday party and I picked up 6 of these on clearance. And I told you guys I was going to make the Brio Garter sweater by Stephen West. I have since changed my mind on what pattern I'm going to do with this. He had a new sweater pattern come out just this past week, and it is the Painting Triangle sweater. And, well, hang on, let me just dig out some other yarn I'm pairing with it. So I got to thinking that this pale yellow is, I mean, it would be a pretty sweater as just a solid pale yellow sweater. But I kind of felt like it being such a pale color, you kind of have to add another pop of color to it to give it some interest, to make it a little less bland, if you know what I mean. So I feel like I'm going to try to, I haven't decided yet what color I'm going to make my Brio Garter sweater out of, but I'm going between a couple different things that I might purchase, but I gotta decide which one I want to go with first, so yeah. But anyways, so I've decided to move this to the Painting Triangle sweater instead. And so I was going through my stash of DK Weight color pops, and I came up with, because you need 3 color pops on the yoke of the sweater, I came up with this combo here. I'm obsessed with this combo, and I think it'll go nice with this as the main color. So I actually came up with this color combo the night before the pattern was released, because Stephen had, of course, posted pictures on Instagram, you know, hyping us up for the release of the pattern. So the night before, I was all like, ooh, Painting Triangle sweater, yay. And so I was kind of messing around with my ColourPops. Anyways, so I have a bunch of Madeline Tosh DK in my stash. Um, because I bought a bunch for the Painting Bricks sweater, which I still have to buy my main color. I do have that picked out, I just haven't gotten around to buying it yet. But so these two I bought for the Painting Bricks sweater, and this one I just had lying around in my stash with no project in mind. So I'll talk about this in a second here, but the Painting Brick sweater, I only need to use about half the skein of each of these, and so you need 8 ColourPops for that one. So I figured, okay, I'm probably not going to need half the skein for the Painting Triangle sweater because it's just one little section, right? Ooh, boy, was I wrong. Turns out I need almost like 130 yards of the third color, and this one is of course going to be the third one. And if this were literally any other skein of Tosh DK, I would just buy another skein, right? This is a one of a kind. I can't get another one. So, I got this at Stephen B, in case you're wondering. But yeah, this is a one of a kind, so I can't exactly buy another one. This one is Coquette Dew, so I can get another one because they still make this color. And so, but I think because this is the second color and not the third one on the yoke, that I should still have enough left over for my brick sweater, but if I should run out, I can always get another one because they still make this color. So, what I've decided to do, because I've fallen in love with this color combo, is I have decided to not put this in the Painting Brick sweater, and I will instead put this in the Painting Honeycomb sweater. So then I initially thought, okay, well I need to have 8 ColourPops, right? So I could either buy myself another purple or get myself a yellow, because I don't have a yellow in that color palette. But I don't really want to spend more money on DKWay ColourPops if I can avoid it, because I already have quite a bit in my stash. But then I got to thinking, I have 6 skeins of this lemonade color, and I'm pretty sure I'm only going to need 5. So if I do indeed only need 5, then I will take this 6th one and throw it into the Painting Brick sweater, in between my orange and my green. Even though this is a little paler than I would have just gone with if I were shopping at the yarn store. It's what I have in my stash and I'd like to use it. So I think I'll throw this in the brick sweater. Unless I change my mind before I cast on, or go to the yarn store and fall in love with something, who knows. But otherwise I'm planning on putting the 6th skein of this lemonade color in the Painting Brick sweater. Yeah, so anyways, so this is the order that they're going in, and this I don't have a lot of, and so this is only enough to be the first or the second color, not the third. But anyways, this is Nurturing Fibers Super Twist DK in the colorway Maple. And all of this is 100% merino, so yeah. And then this is Madeline Tosh DK in the colorway Coquette Dew. And then this is of course Tosh DK. I already showed you, it was a one of a kind. So yeah, so that's for the Painting Triangle sweater, which will hopefully be one of my next cast-ons, but it might be a minute before I get to cast on something new. But yeah, I think that's going to be a beautiful sweater. And I honestly think I'll be much happier with this sweater than if I were to use this for the Brio Garter sweater, because I'll be adding some pops with it. So, yeah. So, yeah. But I'm moving the purple from my painting brick sweater to my painting triangle sweater. So, yeah. So none of those are new acquisitions, but I just wanted to share that I changed my mind on what I was going to make out of that lemonade yarn. So, yeah. Okay, so now on to yarn I bought recently. I, a couple weeks ago, went to a store in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I live here, called Art Scraps. It's basically a thrift store for art supplies. So if you have any art supplies you don't need anymore and you want to donate it to them, they will sell it. So you can get some pretty inexpensive stuff there for really good deals. Really nice things too. And so I've been lucky enough to find some really nice yarns there, because they have a bin full of yarn. You know, they have some fabric scraps, they have buttons, they have things you wouldn't even know were art supplies. But then, yeah, so they have all sorts of things. Beads, anything, you name it. Anyways, I found this when I was there, because they do have full balls of yarn, partial balls of yarn. It's whatever people are trying to get rid of. And some yarns have labels, some are missing their labels, you know. Anyways, this was missing its label, but I found a single ply fingering for a couple of bucks. So I figured I could throw it into something. So I was like, oh, this is a really good deal. I haven't even tried to figure out the yardage yet, so before I use it in something, I'll definitely try to figure that out. But yeah, so I picked this up at Art Scraps. I don't remember if it was $2 or $2.50 or what, but it's a really good deal. I don't know the fiber content for sure because it doesn't have its label, so I don't know anything about it other than single ply fingering, and it's kind of a bluish gray. That's all I know. But I bought it because I thought it was a really good deal for what it is, so yeah. So maybe I can pair it with some leftover Tosh Merino Light that I have, or maybe I can buy some more Tosh Merino Light or other single ply fingerings and pair it with it. And I'll put it in something. So, yeah. So that's my first acquisition. Then my second acquisition was yesterday. I went to Michael's. Yeah, I went to Michael's yesterday, and they had some new yarn that I thought was really pretty. This is the Karen Blossom Cakes. And if you'd like to see an in-depth review of this yarn, Crystal over at Bag O' Day Crochet has a really in-depth review of the Karen Blossom Cakes. She puts it in the washing machine in the dryer, she crochets it, she knits it. She doesn't know how to knit, so she did it on her Addi knitting machine, but anyways. And she shows all 13 colors it comes in, so it's a good video. I recommend you go and watch that. Anyways, yeah, Karen Blossom Cakes. It is a medium weight number 4. I think Ravelry said it was an Aran, because the number 4 category includes both worsted and Aran, so I believe it's an Aran. 61% cotton, 39% acrylic, 481 yards. Machine washable and dryable. Personally, I would still hand wash it. Anything I make, I would hand wash. The only thing that I've made that goes in the washing machine and dryer are dishcloths. And all the dishcloths I've made were earlier when I was first learning how to knit. But they're all in the kitchen, so yeah. But yeah, the color I have here is Radiant Rainbow. Yeah, Radiant Rainbow. So, yeah, it's really pretty. It's got a bunch of blues, oranges, browns. Maybe there's some reds in there. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell what some of the colors are in there, but anyways, I picked up 3 of these, and I'm going to make a sweater. Just a plain sweater. Probably another Southwood, which, again, like I mentioned, is Southwood by Gold House of Yarns, the same pattern I'm wearing right now. Probably going to make another one. Yeah, so that's why I got 3 of them, so I can make a sweater. Yeah, so that's Karen Blossom Cakes in the color Radiant Rainbow. I almost went with a different color called Macaw, but then I went with Radiant Rainbow because I figured I have a lot of bright, colorful things already. Maybe I should make something a little more muted just to offset my wardrobe a little. So anyways, here's my 3rd and final acquisition, and this is the whole reason I waited until today to film my podcast episode. This just came in the mail today. This is from the Little Gray Girl, and this is her bio sock in the colorway Disturbia. So, one of the podcasters I follow the closest is Martin over at Knit365. Well, usually I follow him really closely. Currently, I'm not watching his videos because he did participate in the Twists and Turns MCAL, and I'm not finished yet, so I don't want any spoilers. So currently, I'm only attending his live streams. But because he does monthly live streams, kind of just a come sit and knit sort of thing. But once I'm done with that shawl, then I will go back and binge all the videos I've missed. So I'm going to do the same thing with a bunch of other podcasters I watch, like Natalie over at Love and Stitches, yeah, or Nitty Natty, yeah. And there's a couple others that did the MCAL that I currently can't watch, but I have enough that I follow that didn't do it to keep me entertained while I knit, so we're good. But yeah, Martin's one of the ones I follow the closest. Anyways, he's hosting a knit along where there's a knit pattern and a crochet pattern. Louise Tilbrook is one of the designers, and I forget the other designer, and I don't remember who did the knit one and who did the crochet one. But anyways, I'm not participating in the knit along, but then he collabed with the Little Gray Girl, and there's a special collab skein of yarn, and so this is dyed specifically for the knit along. It's no longer available. But yeah, because the knit along is going to start in a few weeks. Again, like I said, I'm not participating in the knit along. I just thought the yarn was pretty. I wanted to support the collab, and so I'm actually going to put this in a different pattern at a later time. But this is 430 meters, which I think is approximately like 470 yards, I think. 85% superwash merino, 15% biodegradable nylon. Yeah, it's got blues and grays. It's really pretty. Little Gray Girl. So, you guys might remember from my previous episode, this acquisition. This is Living Dreams Yarn Galilea in the colorway Quasar. I can't show you the name of it because it doesn't actually say on there, but I know from when I ordered it that the color was called Quasar. This is 80% merino, 20% nylon, 387 yards. It's an 8-ply fingering. So I'm pairing it with this. And I'm going to make the Wocket Cowl by Stephen West. And so, because of that, I do need a solid color to go with it as well. And I will insert a picture of Stephen's color palette so you can get an idea of what sort of a color palette he went with, so that get an idea of what I kind of need to go with. And so I decided to pair it with this brown. I already had this brown in my stash. I was originally thinking I might throw this into Triangle Parade by Stephen West, but one of the colors I was going to put in that I ended up not having enough of, so I still haven't fully figured out my color palette for that, so I might go something different anyways for the Triangle Parade, so I'm going to put it in here. So this is KFI Collection Indulgence Kettle Dyed Fingering, and the color is called Mocha. And sorry, there's a blue line on there. I got this at Stephen B. The blue line means it was on sale, so yeah, it means it was 30% off because I got it on clearance. But anyways, so yeah, these are the 3 yarns. But the one I just got was the Little Gray Girl skein. That's my acquisition. The other 2 aren't new acquisitions. These are ones I already had. But I'm pairing these 3 together for a Walk It by Stephen West. Nice fingering weight cowl. Yeah, so that is that acquisition. And that is everything I had to talk about today. So with that being said, I'm Andrew. Thank you for checking in here at the Neon Knitter, and I will be back for another episode. Either I will have another episode in April just because it'll be time for another episode, or I will do another episode when I finish this sweater. Just so that I then don't have to choose between this and my bubble sweater, because knowing me, I might have both done by the time I would do another one in April. So, and also I don't think I did an episode in February, so there we go. So I will either be back when this is finished or at the beginning of April. Well, more like the second week of April, but or whenever, to show off what I've been up to. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm Andrew. Thank you for checking in here at the Neon Knitter, and I will see you in the next video.